Welcome to the deep dive. Really glad you could join us today. We're setting off on, well, quite a unique journey this time, diving deep into just one, but incredibly rich piece of writing. It's a poetic reflection called Wouldn't That Be Something by Salim. And, it's the kind of work that doesn't just ask you to read it, it really invites you to feel, to introspect. It makes you slow down. So our mission, if you like, for this deep dive is to pull out the really profound nuggets from this text. We're going to explore the longing, the hope, and the quite nuanced sides of human connection and authenticity that Salim illuminates. And as we go, you'll hear this phrase popping up, wouldn't that be something? It's more than just a question. It feels like a quiet, hopeful anchor for the whole piece and, well, for our chat today too.
Okay, let's just jump right in. Those opening lines. They really set a tone, don't they? Almost immediately. If only life could turn back just as easily to moments we long for, to words we should have said, to hearts we didn't know would miss. Wouldn't that be something? What's your take?
How does Salim manage to tap into that universal feeling of regret like so quickly? Is it the words themselves or something, I don't know, deeper?
Oh, it's definitely deep. And maybe more than just regret. It feels like Salim isn't just being nostalgic. He's sort of pinpointing the the sheer unchangeability of the past, that tyranny almost. It's that really profound human ache for a rewind button, right?
Right.
Which just isn't there. And that immediate sharp reminder that life goes one way, opportunities are finite.
Mm.
It just clicks, makes the poem instantly resonate. It's a very concise way to show how our past selves often create our present longings.
Hmm.
You know, this next part, this is where it got really interesting for me. Salim shifts gears. He moves from that sort of broad wistfulness to this very personal, almost ethereal kind of yearning. He writes about the one I meet every night in dreams, soft-eyed and wordless.
Hmm.
And then he poses the question, if they ever showed up in the light of day, smiled like they belonged here, wouldn't that be something?
Mm.
It's such a striking image. What do you think he's truly getting at there about, our deepest romantic hopes?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because he captures this like inherent human paradox. We long for a connection that's so perfect it often only exists in that curated world of our dreams. But at the same time, maybe we dread its potential arrival in messy, unpredictable reality. It's almost the ultimate be careful what you wish for scenario, but for the soul. The poem really beautifully exposes that fragile line between our secret hopes and the unpredictable truth of real connection, and basically asks, okay, what actually happens when your perfect ideal steps out of the dream and into your living room?
Right, right. So after exploring that really intense personal yearning, Salim then seems to pull back a bit, broadens the lens to other relationships like friendship. He observes, some friends search for me only when their world feels empty, which feels quite pointed, but then offers this alternative. But if someone came to me without a reason, without a need, just presence, just care, wouldn't that be something? Yeah, that's a powerful contrast. And he kind of extends that same thought, doesn't he, to how we connect more broadly, talking about winning someone's heart. He says, anyone can take my heart with noise, with force, with masks. But if someone won it gently, with honesty, with a sentence that touched my soul, wouldn't that be something? About? It feels like a critique of the superficial, definitely, but also maybe a blueprint for something realer.
Exactly. You put those two sections together, and it's like a powerful manifesto for authentic human engagement. Salim isn't just asking for less superficiality. He's highlighting how rare, how incredibly precious unconditional presence actually is.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. In a world that often feels so transactional, seeking someone who comes to you without a reason, without a need, just for presence and care, that's almost revolutionary, isn't it? And this idea of winning a heart gently, with honesty, maybe with just a single sentence that touches the soul, it contrasts so sharply with all the noise and masks we often face. It's a deep dive into what real relational richness might look like.
Okay, and then Salim throws this curveball. This next stanza feels, I don't know, challenging to our usual ideas about truth-telling. He writes, when even the kindest lips can't speak the truth, and decency fails to voice what aches inside. If a drunkard could slur it out and finally say what everyone else hides, wouldn't that be something?
Cool.
That's provocative. What's he saying about where we actually find truth sometimes?
This is where he gets wonderfully subversive, I think. He's suggesting that sometimes the raw, unvarnished truth, it might just emerge from the most unexpected, even dismissed sources. Precisely when, polite society or decorum prevents others from voicing what truly aches inside. It's almost like Salim is challenging us. Is politeness sometimes just a shield, a convenient way to avoid uncomfortable truths? It reminds me, how often you see raw honesty in places like stand-up comedy or maybe protest art, precisely because polite society often silences those things. Truth can be messy, inconvenient, and sometimes, yeah, it takes an unconventional voice to actually get it out there.
As the poem starts drawing to a close, Salim seems to reflect on like an individual's impact. And that search for deep understanding, he writes, "As long as I live, I'll try to be a source of light even in darkness, even when it costs me peace." That's quite a statement of purpose. But then comes this other question, this really poignant one. But if one day someone smiles at my absence, finds joy in the quiet I leave behind, wouldn't that be something?
Hmm.
That line, it really stopped me. What's the deeper meaning you find in that kind of unsettling thought?
Oh, it's such a human moment, isn't it? Full of vulnerability. And it's a really complex reflection on legacy. We strive, right? We try to be a positive force, a source of light, often at a real personal cost. But then the poem introduces this unsettling counterpoint, the fear that our absence might actually be met with relief or even joy. It raises this big, almost existential question about how we're truly perceived, how we're remembered. Is the fear about being forgotten, or maybe, even worse, the fear of being celebrated for leaving? It's a powerful, quiet challenge to how we think about our own impact.
And the poem wraps up with this beautiful summary of a life lived, a life of wonder, a heart full of quiet questions, and a soul still hoping that somewhere someone will understand without needing to be told.
Yeah, those final lines.
Yeah.
They just perfectly distill the human condition that Salim's been exploring all along. It's this state of continuous questioning, this capacity for wonder, and this deep, really fundamental longing for intuitive, nonverbal understanding,
Yeah.
It's that quiet hope, which is such a recurring theme, that someone will just get us without needing the full explanation. It's like the ultimate deep dive into another person's soul, really,
Yeah.
without a single word needing to be exchanged.
So putting it all together, what does this mean for us? Salim's "Wouldn't That Be Something" really takes us on a journey, doesn't it? Through this rich emotional landscape, from longing for a rewritten past to the ideal connection, authentic relationships, the surprising places truth pops up, and the complex nature of legacy and just, well, being understood. It's quite a masterclass in distilling emotion.
Absolutely. And that phrase, wouldn't that be something? It echoes throughout. It's more than a question. It feels like that quiet, persistent hope that really defines so much of the human experience. It's that kind of enduring sigh for things that could be but maybe aren't yet, a poetic nudge about our deepest desires. And what's particularly poignant, I think, especially for you listening, is that little admin note at the end of the source text. Admin, Salim Page, you are my life. And the hashtags, hashtag Salim, hashtag you are my life. It just adds such a profound personal layer, doesn't it? It turns this whole exploration of longing and connection into this deeply felt declaration of love somehow. Makes all the themes feel even more immediate, more tender.
It really does. It makes you wonder, actually, what are those "wouldn't that be something" moments or those silent hopes that resonate most deeply with you right now in your own life? What are those unspoken truths, those profound connections you're quietly seeking? Something to reflect on, perhaps. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Salim's truly evolving